Look at how almost every girl's program, cartoon, you name it, is about witchcraft. It's real. Even if God and the devil don't exist, for those of you out there that are doubters, it doesn't matter. The globalists believe it. They are manifesting it. And then I get people going, I'm a Wiccan. How dare you say we're devil worshippers? You know, we're this old religion of the earth. Look, I've studied the anthropology. Don't push your propaganda on me, okay? I'm not saying you're an inherently evil person. You are deceived. Every ancient religion sacrificed humans. Every ancient religion engaged in bloodletting. Every ancient religion worshiped the same entities, the same manifestations. So don't give me that bull. You are porch minions. You are not in the inner group. I have read the inner group's writings. I have spent the time. I have done scholarly research. I have looked at mainstream magazines where they constantly dig up big digs in all over Europe with sacrificed men, women, and children, you name it. Wicker men. You don't think that's just a movie, do you? Sometimes if things got bad, they'd take the chief or his son and put them in a wicker man and burn them to get rain to come. Even some of the Western Native Americans, when there were droughts and problems, would sacrifice people. There was sacrifice in North America, not just Southern North America, in Mexico. Every culture. And you notice the anthropologists always say, well, don't judge those cultures. Really, I judge the Nazis as bad. No, I will make a cultural statement that the Aztecs were absolutely out of their minds wicked. I will make the cultural distinction the Nazis were absolutely out of their minds wicked. I will make the cultural distinction that the communists were out of their minds wicked. That the Jacobins and the French Revolution crew were all into the occult. It was the Illuminati, and they did kill around 10% of the population, raping, robbing, marauding, not just killing wealthy people as much as specialized wealthy rich, orchestrating it. They tried to go to a 9-day week. They tried to abolish the family. See, I know history, so I know everything we're now under is the Illuminati. Oh, and I'm afraid to get the first ever in-depth total data dump from Charlotte Iserby. She's getting older herself. Her husband's died. Her father's dead. His father was Skull and Bones. She was number 2, Department of Education. Found out about all this stuff. She gave Anthony Sutton the first stuff we could confirm about Skull and Bones 20 years ago. She gave us all the rest of it in the interview at prisonplanet.tv right now in the special reports area. In fact, please go there and we'll show people where they can find it. prisonplanet.tv. You go to the special reports area. So I forget the exact title of the piece, even though I came up with it. This has been 6 months in the making, and this is only part 1. It's over an hour long. We got even more. We have 8 hours of this. This is a condensed one. We're going to dump basically the whole thing with just the pauses and things cut out in the next few months for everybody. And how the Illuminati had been kicked out of the U.S. They came in. They took over through Skull and Bones. It might be in the seeing the special reports area. It'll be one of those. And at this distance, I can't read it. And it may have already scrolled off. It's the Charlotte Iserby. I'll find it during the break. It doesn't matter. I'll get the name of it and give people during the break. You just got to go to the archive. It's got more listed there, and it's right there. They're putting so much on there now, it's already scrolled off. The point is, that report is up there, and she discovered in her research, and she shows it all from their own writings, some of which are internal Skull and Bones, that the Illuminati created psychology. They said, we want to find out how to manipulate people. We're going to make it scientific here in Bavaria, Germany. We've overthrown France. We want to get rid of the family, totally overturn society, and make ourselves the rulers or literal gods over people and bring in a total tyranny. But we're going to recruit well-meaning people to join our lower rungs the outer groups thinking we're trying to overthrow the oppression of the church as they saw it and the corrupt royalty. But really, we'll just set ourselves up as the kings. And then they came over here and set up psychology, set up eugenics, set up the whole system we're under today. We are living in an Illuminati wonderland. We'll be right back. Stay with us. I'll give you the title of that Charlotte Iserby piece that's at prisonplanet.tv as well. Skull and Bones Insider blows it sky high. Skull and Bones secrets blown wide open. I mean, if you get a royal flush in poker, it's a royal flush. You don't say, I got two of a kind. That's what I like about natural news. Their writer, when a big report came out from Texas A&M showing 77% of honey on store shelves is not honey, is flavored corn syrup, and they're lying, labeling it as that. Texas A&M, it was shock findings. You need to tell people when something's shocking. It's almost like there's restraint. And I try to drill it in the guys. I said, when something's sensational, it's sensational. Like we had a headline a week ago. It was like, TSA, Viper teams, more states accepting Viper teams. It should be feds taking over more states, because, by the way, they're not even accepting them. They're just doing it. Martial law being implemented. I mean, again, and I understand. I'm using this as a learning experience. I understand that people who live this and fight this all the time, we even get acclimated towards just accepting it and not seeing how serious all of this stuff is. Now, I want to get into I want to air this Charlotte Iserby piece. We aired it during the 27-hour broadcast, but it has not gotten the attention it deserves. Charlotte Iserby breaks down the history of the secret order and reveals just how big this elite club at Yale really is and how much political power they have wielded over the past 180 years. Well, they're not big. They're very small, but just how incredibly important they are. Iserby unveils the connection of her father and grandfather to Skull and Bones secret society, including an exclusive look at the official members list the public was never meant to see. A lot of this is first time ever. It should be for the first time ever. The woman who originally released the first known information about Skull and Bones to Anthony Sutton now reveals all. She kept the fact that she was the leaker secret for more than 2 decades. Now she lays it all on the line. Charlotte Iserby, the Order of Skull and Bones, blown wide open. What the cult of death doesn't want you to know. And again, we're so busy just firing all these pearls out at people of incredible investigative reporting, we never even turn around and really even properly promote it. I mean, we're good at getting the info out, but we're not good at really saying, hey, we're delivering the goods here. Like, I'm going to call Paul Watson and have him watch it and do a big report, or Steve Watson or Aaron Dykes, just to say, look at what we bring you. Look at this information. Appreciate this. This is like some 100-carat diamond just kind of thrown off under the bushes. By me. I didn't take the time out to write the write-up for it. I didn't. See, now you're getting inside my frustration because, man, I am just completely overwhelmed right now. And I'm so angry about what's happening. I want to do a report tonight dealing with the fact that the elite has gone crazy. Look, we had a corrupt, out-of-control ruling class in 1990. But they had the Army study DU in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Dr. Doug Rockey, the head of their DU program, physicist, said, do not use this, unless you're in absolute emergency, as all the scientists before him said. And they went ahead and used it. Now, why in 1991 did they go from saying we can't use this because it ignites going down the barrel of the Abrams gun or the 50 cal or whatever system they're using it on, and we certainly can't have the troops move into areas we've bombed with this, because it leaves a residue that if you breathe any of it is going to reduce your life massively. is going to kill you. If it was cyanide and killed you on the spot, it'd be a big controversy. But because it kills you slowly, you just crawl off like a rat. It takes you a few weeks to die. You know, I see all these reports of the troops' bodies, parts thrown in landfills, just like the 9/11 first responders, and troops sawed in half, or, you know, families being delivered rotten bodies. It's all over the news. It's a huge controversy. I'm getting emails saying, how dare you lie about it? How dare you make it up? Okay, I'm making it up then. If you don't watch the news, know about the big controversies, and think I'm making it up, that the government would do this, fine then. Just believe whatever you want. Here it is, update. Pentagon reviews punishment over war dead remains. That's Reuters. In fact, you can aim the document cam right over here. It's a big controversy. I reported it last week, and people said I was a liar, but I was covering mainstream news. But yeah, I'm still a liar, though, even though it's all admitted, and the Secretary of Defense is running around talking about it, giving press conferences. It doesn't exist. So, continuing here, they don't care about the troops. They don't care about anybody. They just fill you with a bunch of propaganda that, oh, it's Veterans Day. Let's wrap some people in a flag. Everything's wonderful. And let's have everybody stay on the plane while they bring the coffin off the Southwest Airlines flight that I flew in on. And let's just have the captain make constant comments during the flight about how incredible our troops are and how wondrous. And the captain carries the bags off of the Air Force officer who was accompanying the body, and people are crying on board, and it's all this big moment. Meanwhile, they're throwing their bodies in landfills. Meanwhile, they're taking their pension funds, stealing it. Meanwhile, the government could care less and is letting them use weapons that has killed and debilitated hundreds of thousands. And they had congressional reports a decade ago about it. They've known the whole time. Most of Doug Rocky's team has died just from being around it to study it in the field. He's had 40-something surgeries now. Last time we tried to get him on, he was at the VA in D.C. Try to get him back on. I know he's real sick, but let's try to get Dr. Rocky back on before, unfortunately it might be too late. But see, actually caring about them, that's prasada non grata. That's no. You don't do that. You just put a flag on your car. I'm not saying you're bad if you have that, but the point is, now actually fulfill it. You actually defend what the flag symbolizes: Bill of Rights, Constitution, Declaration of Independence, private property, the family, what made the country great. See, the system, the rulers we have, are systematically waging war on the Bill of Rights, Constitution, Declaration of Independence, and every form of basic freedom. So see, they're my enemy. But I know the pen is mightier than the sword, so I'm fighting them that way. But they don't like that because we're beating them, so they're going to try to make it physical. And, well, defense, that's defense. You have every right under natural law, under God's law, to defend yourself. And again, I'm not somebody looking for violence, but I will defend myself. I will. And I don't want this to happen, but if it is, let it come. Why sit we here idle? The war has already begun. Is peace so sweet, so dear to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, my countrymen. I don't know what course you're going to take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death, like Colonel Travis down there at the Alamo. He said victory or death. 180 and change against 4,000. And he knew, but he couldn't live his life as a coward. And that example, that sacrifice, led to things much greater. That's what living is really all about. That's adventure. That's courage. That's bold. And that's who I remember on Veterans Day. Not, oh, we care so much, and, give money to all these charities for the troops that siphon most of it off, and, oh, thank you, troops, and connecting the troops to the war, and always having troops on TV going, I want the wars to continue, when most of the troops in polls are against it and support Ron Paul. Having select PSYOP officers speak for all the rest of the military. This is about using these well-meaning heroes' efforts, because regardless, they've done it meaning well, to sell evil. And the people are like, shut up, Alex. They're not throwing them in landfills. Okay, fine. You want to just, I told you that since Chernobyl alone, since the atomic testing by the Russians and by the United States and by the French and others, in the northern hemisphere of the globe, that's us up here north of the equator, up into the 60s, you can pull these actuary numbers up. We've shown them here on air. Radiation levels doubled.